However, her biggest challenge arose when Ogbuefi's son, Ikenna, began to make unwanted advances toward her. Ikenna was spoiled and arrogant, thinking he deserved Adaku's attention. He often teased her and tried to scare her into giving in. Even though Ikenna frightened her, Adaku stood her ground. She confidently told him that she would never give in to his advances. Ikenna was surprised by her courage and began to respect her space. In the middle of rural Nigeria, surrounded by beautiful hills and thick forests in the Igbo region, there was a small village called Ndioma. This village was rich in tradition and culture, where everyone valued family and community, and life moved along with the natural rhythms of the world. In this peaceful place lived a young girl named Adaku. Adaku was a smart and curious girl, with a smile that could brighten even the gloomiest days. She shared a cozy mud hut on the edge of the village with her parents, Neoma and Obinna, and her little brother, Chukwubuka. Even though she had a loving family and a supportive community, Adaku faced her own set of challenges. Growing up in a society where men held most of the power, Adaku had to deal with many expectations. She was supposed to help with household chores, look after her younger brother, and eventually marry someone who could provide for her family. But Adaku had bigger dreams. She wanted to become a teacher, to learn and share knowledge, and to make a positive impact in her village. Still, Adaku often felt scared and unsure of herself. She worried about what her parents would think, how her community would react, and whether she was good enough to achieve her goals. The thought of what she might have to give up to chase her dreams made her anxious. Then one day, everything changed for Adaku. Her parents, who had always encouraged her education, became seriously ill with malaria. Without money for treatment, her family faced a tough situation. In their time of need, Adaku's father, Obinna, reached out to the village elder, Ogbuefi, for assistance. Ogbuefi, known for his wisdom and fairness, listened to Obinna's request and offered a way to help. He said he would cover the medical costs, but in return, Adaku would need to work on his farm until the debt was settled. Adaku felt conflicted. She wanted to support her family, but she was also afraid of being stuck in a life of hard labor. Adaku felt like her dreams were slipping away, but with no other choices, she reluctantly accepted Ogbuefi's conditions. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months as Adaku worked hard on Ogbuefi's farm. She woke up with the sun and went to bed when the stars came out. The heat was intense, and her hands were sore and blistered, but she kept pushing through the pain. Even with all the struggles, Adaku never thought about giving up. While working, Adaku discovered a new strength within herself. She realized she could face any challenge, no matter how tough it seemed. She started to see the beauty in nature, the changing seasons, and the pride that comes from hard work. However, her biggest challenge arose when Ogbuefi's son, Ikenna, began to make unwanted advances toward her. Ikenna was spoiled and arrogant, thinking he deserved Adaku's attention. He often teased her and tried to scare her into giving in. Even though Ikenna frightened her, Adaku stood her ground. She confidently told him that she would never give in to his advances. Ikenna was surprised by her courage and began to respect her space. Eventually, after many months, Adaku's family managed to pay off Ogbuefi's debt. She was finally free to leave the farm and chase her dreams. She enrolled in a local school, where she did really well and became a role model for her classmates. But Adaku's path wasn't easy. She faced many obstacles in school, like unfair teachers and traditional expectations. Balancing her studies with her home responsibilities was tough, and she dealt with many disappointments along the way. Still, Adaku kept going. She found strength in her experiences on the farm, the lessons from Ogbuefi, and the support from her family and community. She learned to stand up for herself, speak out against unfairness, and fight for her rights. Years later, Adaku returned to Ndioma as a successful teacher and community leader, motivating many young girls to pursue their dreams. She always cherished the lessons from Ogbuefi's farm, the inner strength she built, and the bravery she found within herself. As she gazed at the familiar hills and lush forests of her youth, Adaku smiled, realizing she had truly discovered her purpose in life. She would forever be a source of hope and inspiration for those around her. But Adaku's journey didn't stop there. When she came back to Nedioma, she was eager to create positive change in her community. She established a school for girls, providing them with education and skills to help them become independent and self-reliant. Her school quickly flourished, attracting girls from all over the area. Adaku felt proud of her achievements, yet she understood there was still more to accomplish. One day, Obuifi, the village elder who had once supported her family, came to visit. Though he was now old and frail, his eyes still shone with wisdom and kindness. "Adaku, my dear," Obuifi said, his voice soft but filled with emotion. "I am so proud of everything you have done. You have truly changed our community for the better." Adaku felt moved by his words and expressed her gratitude. But Obuifi had one more request. "Adaku, I want you to take my place as the village elder when I am no longer here. You possess the wisdom, compassion, and strength to lead our community." Adaku was surprised by his request. She had never seen herself as a leader, but as she looked at the eager faces of the girls in her school, she realized she had the ability to make a real difference. Adaku felt really moved by Obuifi's words, and she expressed her gratitude for his kindness. "I accept," Adaku replied, her voice strong and determined. "I will do my best to lead our community with wisdom and kindness." Obuifi beamed, tears of joy in his eyes. "I knew I could rely on you, Adaku," he said. "You will be an amazing leader, and our community will thrive under your care." And so, Adaku's journey as a leader began. She encountered many challenges and hurdles, but she never lost hope. She used her wisdom, kindness, and strength to guide her community, and soon Nedioma was flourishing. Years later, Adaku would gaze over the successful and peaceful community she had helped create, knowing she had truly found her place in the world. She had become a leader, a mentor, and a role model, making a positive impact on the lives of many. As she looked out at the familiar hills and lush forests of her childhood, Adaku would smile, realizing she had come full circle and had truly found her way back home. Adaku's journey didn't stop there. While she was celebrating her achievements as a leader, Ikena, the son of Obuifi, unexpectedly showed up. He had changed a lot since Adaku last met him. Gone was the arrogant and spoiled boy. Now he was humble, kind, and truly remorseful for how he had treated her before. "Ikena, what brings you here?" Adaku asked, surprised to see him. "I came to say I'm sorry," Ikena replied, looking down in shame. "I was wrong to treat you poorly. You always treated me with kindness, and I responded with rudeness. I really regret my actions." Adaku was shocked by Ikena's apology. She never thought he would admit he was wrong, let alone apologize. "Ikena, your apology really means a lot to me," Adaku said, her voice filled with feeling. "But I want you to know that I forgave you a long time ago. What matters is that you've learned from your mistakes and truly feel sorry for them." Tana. Ikena looked up at her, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Adaku," he said. "You are an incredible person, and I feel lucky to know you." Just as Ikena was about to leave, Adaku called out to him. "Ikena, hold on," she said. "I have an idea. I want you to join me in helping our community. We need people like you who have learned from their past and are genuinely sorry. Will you help me?" Ikena's face brightened with joy. "Yes, Adaku," he said. "I would be honored to work with you. Thank you for giving me this chance." From that moment on, Ikena teamed up with Adaku to make a difference in their community. Together, they achieved amazing things, and Ikena found a way to make up for his past mistakes. Adaku's story shows how powerful forgiveness and second chances can be. It reminds us that no matter how lost we feel, we can always find a way back and make things right, and everyone should get a second chance, no matter what mistakes they've made before. As Adaku and Ikena teamed up, they noticed that their community had a lot of problems. There was poverty, hunger, and sickness, and many people were having a tough time getting by. Adaku and Ikenna realized they needed to take action. They kicked things off by organizing a food drive, gathering donations from around the neighborhood, and giving them to those who needed help. They also launched a healthcare program, offering medical assistance to people who couldn't afford it. Plus, they set up an education initiative, giving scholarships and learning materials to young people eager to study. As Adaku and Ikenna's hard work started to pay off, their community began to change for the better. People felt healthier, happier, and more optimistic. Adaku and Ikenna became known as heroes, their names linked with kindness, compassion, and generosity. However, Adaku understood that there was still a lot to do. She recognized that their community continued to face many issues, and many people still needed help. So, she kept working hard, using her talents and resources to create positive change. And Ikenna was always there, supporting her every step of the way. Together, they were unstoppable. They became a powerful force for good, shining a light of hope in a world that often felt dark and harsh. As they gazed out at their neighborhood, they realized they had truly made a difference. They had transformed lives and contributed to building a better community. Adaku's journey highlights how powerful kindness, compassion, and generosity can be. It proves that one individual can spark change, and even the tiniest acts of kindness can leave a lasting mark. This story serves as a reminder that each of us has the ability to bring about positive change in the world. We all can make a difference and help ensure the world is a better place than we found it. Let's all aim to be like Adaku, using our talents and resources to create a positive impact. We should strive to be sources of goodness, shining lights in a world that can often feel dark and harsh. When we come together and harness our combined strength to foster positive change, there are no limits to what we can accomplish. We can build a better world, one that is fairer, more equal, and more peaceful. And that is the most important legacy we can leave behind. Thank you for watching. Kindly share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, click the notification button to get notified each time I post a new video. See you on my next video.